Summary: Johnson apologizes for errors made during the pandemic. The former Prime Minister gives 2 days of evidence. Campaigns like toxic waste for people treated with Johnson & Johnson comes early to avoid old families. London, December 6. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Government is very complaining and initially underestimated risks of virus, saying that coronavirus crisis on Wednesday gave most clear apology. Johnson said that he took responsibility for all decisions made before an official investigation of England's outbreak, and he understood the lack of government backstabbing and women's anger after hearing biggest health crisis during decimal years. Johnson said COVID-19, not Tayfun, who continues to kill more than 230,000 people in the UK and contaminated millions of people, but first appears to be cloud on the horizon. Initially, Johnson said he did not believe in death forecasts and has led to greatest pressure on civilian freedoms since Second World War, but only government had read minutes of key scientific counseling groups several times. Can I say that I understand feelings of victims, their families, and I am deeply sorry for pain, he said at beginning of two-day hearing. Between 2019, Prime Minister Johnson resigned after a series of scandaling that he had been alcoholic meetings in Downing Street 2020 and 2021. The investigation felt a damaging testimony of the reluctance of locking and how it was confused by science. At some point, Johnson said had asked if he could kill a hairdryer's nose and blow the virus, and suggested that COVID-19 should be injected to live TV to calm the public fears. Deadly culture. 18. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. On December 6, 2023 in London, UK COVID-19 investigation. In the COVID-19 investigation of this screen from a study paper video, the former Prime Minister encountered questions over and over again for a long time to implement. Locked at beginning of 2020, and this caused Britain to result in one of the highest death fees in world. Johnson said he was more reluctant to respond between ministers and authorities and to bring restrictions on movements of people between senior ministers' cabinet, more than 3 hours before hearing started. In the allegations that those who from COVID-19 avoid their families and said that their colleagues would prefer see them, they came to an investigation in darkness who wanted confront Johnson. The beginning of session was broken by protesters who were warned by President of investigation and ordered to be separated in some cases. Lawyer Aamer Anwar, who represented some mourning COVID families, said that Johnson controls a deadly punishment, a culture of inadequacy, and acted to people as toxic waste. The investigation saw evidence that the government's former chief scientific advisor Patrick Vallace, in his diary, wanted allow Johnson to spread the virus instead of another locking order. Johnson, such as